So thank you, first of all, for the invitation to give me the opportunity to talk about the DISH project and the tools that we have developed in the DISH project, which is a European project supported by the big Erasmus Plus program that we have within the European Union. So the Erasmus Plus program is one of the biggest European programs supporting all kinds of training activities, innovation within education, mobility within Europe, and so on. I will talk to you about this project and the tools that we have been developing. And I have divided the presentation into 5 main headlines. So first of all, I will give you a little context introduction, why we chose to make this project and why it was important to develop the DISH tools. And then I will, of course, introduce you to the DISH tools and tell you a bit about the underlying theories and approaches that have led to the DISH tools, and explain a bit how the process is between the tools. And then I will show you the DISH platform where you can find the tools, and very short go into some of the recommendations that we have elaborated based on the practical activities and the practical experiences that we have gained through the implementation of the DISH tools. So the context and the challenge, you probably also know within your countries that the healthcare sector in general is very much challenged for the moment. We need to find new solutions to ensure the sustainability within the healthcare sector. I suppose that also within the countries in Asia, you also have challenges with patients coming quickly into the hospitals and being released very quickly. So there is a need of having much more efficient digital tools within the hospital. We are looking much more into personalized care, which demands also interdisciplinary collaboration, communication, and coordination. The patients are becoming much more empowered and demand another kind of care. And then we also have this aging population within our societies that are also demanding another kind of treatment and care. And all that demands an application of new technologies and another kind of collaboration between the different healthcare groups within the healthcare sector. And of course, this also demands new training, new kinds of skills that the healthcare sector or the healthcare workforce needs to be ready for the future. So we have looked into this and we have found this missing link where a lot of new healthcare skills are needed. So we are looking into innovation readiness. We are looking into digital skills, and we are also looking into implementation and change management skills. Within the DISH project, we made a needs analysis, and we have seen that actually all this application of new skills within the healthcare sector, we see that a lot of these new digital solutions, they are not used to their full potential. We can see that a lot of the healthcare providers, they are not gaining the full return on investment from the investment that they give into new digital digital solutions. And one of the reasons why they do not have this full return on investment is that they are not providing good training so that the digital solutions are being used to their full potential by the healthcare workforce. We can see that training is very often neglected because very often this kind of training needs to be tailor-made, and it needs to be contextualized both to the specific healthcare provider and also to the specific digital solutions that are going to be implemented within the healthcare provider. And the reason why the training is very often neglected is that it takes time to plan tailor-made training, and it needs it needs resources to find out what are actually the concrete needs that we need within the healthcare provider. And we have developed these DISH tools to make this complexity a bit more manageable. So the DISH tools, they are not concrete training activities, but it's more tools that make this complexity of preparing and developing tailor-made training a bit more manageable, and a way to deal with the complexity and the flexibility that is needed when you need to implement tailor-made training. So in the DISH project, we are talking about the triple helix skills. So these are three kinds of training that are combined, and which we saw in our training needs analysis, that these are very important if you want to be able to use the full potential of digital solutions that you implement within the healthcare sector. So the first is, of course, digital competences and skills. These are how to adopt and use and work with the new technologies. Then we are working with innovation readiness and innovation skills. So these are skills that refer to how you can identify the needs of new technologies within different kinds of healthcare situations. Also, how you can, as a healthcare work or healthcare professional, how you can actually identify ways where you can use technologies and how you can innovate within your daily work and create opportunities to implement new technologies. And then, of course, when you are introducing healthcare technologies in your working day, very often to create new working methods or new ways of collaboration with your colleagues and so on. We very well know, you probably do as well, that when you are innovating within a specific process, only 20% of this innovation is related to the concrete digital solution. The 80% deals with the skills. It deals with the new culture that you have towards the digital solution. It deals with the new working processes that you have to install together with your colleagues. So change management and the way of looking into how to create new working methods and working cultures are even more important than the digital solution itself. And this is what we mean when we talk about change management and intersectoral skills related to digital solutions. So the DISH tools, they are composed of three concrete tools. So we are dealing with a preparation tool, we are dealing with a training tool, and we are dealing with an assessment tool. So now I will go a bit more into these three specific tools. So the preparation tool is the first one. This tool's dealing with the of a preparation team. We are dealing with this within this tool with a management theory, which is based upon a management researcher called John Kotter. And John Kotter, he's talking very much about defining the urgency, defining a spirit within the team of creating a kind of urgency to that all people understand why this is important for us to change something within the way that we are working. Why is it important for us to, for example, introduce a digital solution to make our work easier, better, more flexible, more efficient, or whatever? It is about creating this common understanding of, yes, this is important for us to create this change right now, and how to create the change. Within this preparation team, we have created an understanding of setting up a team which is interdisciplinary and represent different kinds of stakeholders. So it's a question of looking on the urgency, sorry, in a interdisciplinary way, and creating a common understanding of what are the training needs and the competence needs, the skills needs that we need within the team in order to use this digital solution in the best way. So as I said before, the peopleware is this 80% of the success of creating and introducing new digital solutions within a team. We are basing this tool on a concrete, you can say, management philosophy that we call shared decision making. So it's not a question of top-down decisions. It's a question of more bottom-up decisions, so that everybody understand and acknowledge the needs and the understanding of what do we actually need within the team if we want this digital solution to be successful. Second tool that we have developed in this project is the process tool for on-the-job training. So in this tool, we take the decisions that we're taking within the preparation tool. So the common decisions that we're taking of the needs that we need to implement, the training that we need to carry through in order to be successful in the implementation of the digital solutions. And within this tool, you can see we have these 6 steps that we go through in order to make to plan the training in a good way. So we are talking about making, for example, that the healthcare professionals, that they can see the urgency and they can see the need for introducing the digital solution. We need to make this on. You can say we need to relate that to the daily work of the healthcare workers, so that they understand and accept the introduction of the digital solutions. So together with them, together with the training team, we are planning the skills training. We are defining the learning objectives and the outcomes in this team, and we are setting a concrete training team to carry out the training. And then we are carrying out the training very closely in the daily work of the healthcare professionals. Very often we are using simulation in order to train with the digital solutions, and very often we are also creating small training teams already, so that the training that the healthcare professionals can actually already, when they are training, make small teams that can continue beyond the training to work with the implementation of the digital solutions. And in the end, we are carrying out an evaluation, both an evaluation of the skills that the health professionals have actually gained during the training, but also an evaluation of the training itself, so that we can continue improving the training after and beyond the concrete implementation of the training. So this is the tool that can be used to carry out the concrete training. The next tool, or the last tool, is the process tool for assessment and recognition. And in this tool, we are planning the assessment, which in the best a process that is running at the same time as the training is actually being implemented. So already when you are starting implementing the training, you should decide on what kind of assessment you actually want to use, what kind of assessment tools you want to use. And then we have seen in the DISH project that it's very important that the management go into this project and actually do a recognition and a validation of the skills and the competences that the healthcare professional have actually gained through the process. This has shown to be very important for the healthcare professionals, that they actually gain some kind of recognition from the management level as well. And we have seen in the DISH project that there are already a lot of different kinds of assessment tools that are existing already within the countries. So instead of developing the wheel over and over again, we recommend to see what is actually already existing within the countries that you can use to recognize skills and carry through assessments. And there are different links to different kinds of tools already existing on our websites. So the way that the three tools are working together is visualized here. You can see that it's a question of setting up a team in the beginning to look into the urgency and describing the needs. Then you use on the job training concept and tool in order to decide on the learning objectives, choose the assessment tools, and deliver the training. And then you use the assessment tool in order to carry through the assessment and look into the competences that the healthcare professionals have actually gained throughout the training. And you create some validation and certification, and then you go back to the preparation team in order to see if anything is needed. You can actually go have this kind of process over and over again each time that you want to introduce a new digital solution. So something about the underlying theories and approaches that we have used in order to develop these tools. So as I said in the beginning, we have been looking into change management theories. We are dealing with the differences of knowledge, competences, and skills. We have looked into different activity models and teaching and learning theories. And of course, as this is a European project, we have also looked into different kinds of European approaches that has been relevant for us and is relevant for the European Commission to work with these kind of issues. I will not go so much into these European approaches. You can read more about them on our website and in the concrete you can say documentation that is underlying this approach and these tools. I will go a bit more into the four theories that we have been working with, as they are more generic for and not really looking into different cultures and so on. So the change management model that we are looking into is John Kotter, Leading Change. So it's an overall management change theory that says that managing change, it is not enough. You have to lead it. So this is where we are looking into the shared decision making and building a common culture. As I said in the beginning, it's really important within this this management theory to look into the urgency, and that everybody see this urgency, that you create a common understanding of what is actually the necessity when you want to introduce a digital solution within your healthcare provider, within the ward or within the team. And Kotter is working with these 8 steps that we have also been working with when we implemented the DISH project, and we have built the DISH concept and especially the preparation tool on these very concrete steps, and we have gained our experiences based on these 8 steps. We have worked with the differences between knowledge, skills, and competences, where we look at the knowledge as a more theoretical level. So this is very often what healthcare professionals have learned through their studies and on a more general basis. Then skills, that's what we are looking very much into when we are dealing with when we are working with the DISH tools. So this is all the cognitive and practical use of digital solutions, and this is where the DISH tools have shown to be very useful. That's where you are working with the small teams, and where healthcare professionals are really being trained to work with the digital tools on a very practical level. And competences, we understand that as the ability to put the digital tools into practice, where and know where to use the digital tools in your daily work, how you need to collaborate with your colleagues in applying the tools and get the most out of these tools. And you can say that the skills and the competences, the work behavior, this is the area tools are really showing to be useful and giving added value within the healthcare providers. We have also built different kinds of teaching and learning theories into the development of these tools. So we are, of course, working with the technology enhanced learning and especially simulation. because simulation gives a secure environment where healthcare workers can learn without risking the life of the patients or the patient security of the patients. So this theory very much support the tailor-made and the personalized learning, and as I said, it creates this safe environment to explore what you actually need to learn. And we are also working with Connectivism, which is it's a special way of seeing training in a individualized way, but still putting very much focus on how you can connect with different staff categories and units within the healthcare sector. And then, of course, andragogy, which is which refers to the adult training, where pedagogy is more related to how children are working. Andragogy is more focusing on the way that adults are learning, which is of course very much important when you are working with training within the healthcare sector. And within andragogy, you're working with the autonomous learning and looking at trainers more as kind of facilitators than more traditional school-based training. So it's more focused on, it could be other healthcare professionals, for example, super users of digital solutions that go into a process together with their colleagues, where they're more taking on a role of facilitators and not concrete trainers. And then, of course, it's also focusing on problem-centered learning. For example, within the DISH project, we have centered very often the training around, for example, if a digital solution do not work the way that you thought it would work, what are you then doing? Because we can see that when there is problems with the digital solutions, that is very often the situation where healthcare workers say, oh, it's too complicated to work with this solution, and then they go back and work with the traditional ways of working. And then this is where the digital solution actually loses its importance. So it's very often very important to create the training around problems, around if this solution does not work in the special way that we thought that it would work, how can we then do in order to make the digital solution work that the way that we want it to. And then, of course, we are also working with different levels of learning. So within the DIS tools, we are working with the highest level of learning, which is how can we create interaction with others, and how can we actually be able to explain to others how digital solutions are working. When you reach that level where you are actually capable of explaining to others how the digital solution is actually working, this is the highest level of learning. And this is the reasons why we are very often within the DISH tools, we are working with, for example, video where you're making videos of your learning, and you are explaining in small videos how the digital solution actually works. because as I said, when you are able of explaining how the digital solution actually works, that's when you have actually understood yourself to the highest level on how to work with the digital solution. So this is one of the evaluation tools that we have been using a lot in this project to actually use video recording of the training and explaining how it can be used. So this is the address of the DISH platform. I will show you how you can actually access the DISH platform. We have developed the DISH platform as a kind of toolbox where you can go concretely into the three tools that we have been developed, and you are being led through very easily all the different questions that you should answer. Here you can see that it's about setting up the planning the planning team, and you have here all the different kinds of questions that you can ask yourself and what it's all about, and the same for the going back to the other tools. So this is the preparation tool. This is the on the job training tool. You can go into this tool and see how you can ensure all the relevant process parts of the tool that you can go into, and actually you can use this website to deal with the training and put up your training tool and put up your training team and carry through the concrete training towards your healthcare professionals. So I'll just go back to. I hope that I actually showed the platform. Did I show the platform, or was I not sharing?
Not yet.
Okay, so I think that I maybe need to share that. How do you do that actually?
Maybe you can just open your browser, Miss Henriette.
Yeah. Wait, because I think that I was only sharing my screen, my presentation, right?
Yes, maybe you can click the share option again in Zoom.
Sharing this. Yeah, maybe I have to stop sharing that and share this, and then this. So
yes,
can you see it now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry, I was not yeah, no. So this is where you can go into the platform, and you have the three different tools here. When you click on each tool, you will get into the concrete tool, and you can see that here are all the different processes of the tool that you can work with. There are all the different kinds of questions that are relevant for you to ask if you want to use the tools. So you can go back to the different tools. So this is on the job training tool, where you get into to the different kinds of processes on the job training tools, and you can go through the tool like that. And up, started, then you can go back. There are all kinds of questions that can ease your way through the different tools. And then in the end, the assessment tool. Here, where you also get into the different kinds of processes of the tool. So I will try to see what can I do here. And I can see that I'm also muted. So from this website, you have, as I showed, you have access to the tools. You can use the tools online. You have access to all the different kinds of worksheets that can facilitate the application of the tools. There are also good practice examples from the participating countries. In the DISH tools, we were partners from Denmark, Norway, UK, Germany, Poland, and Spain. So you can see that it's a lot of different kinds of cultures and structures, different kinds of healthcare providers, which has actually given a kind of possibility to transfer the DISH tools to many different kinds of countries. And then you also have access to the background theoretical material and the knowledge that I've just explained a bit to you today. So some of the recommendations that we have seen from the DISH project is that you get the most out of the DISH tools when you use the 3 DISH tools together. So that means that you set up a preparation team, which is interdisciplinary, which has different kind of stakeholders, so that you ensure that you make a common understanding of the urgency and the common need for digital tools and training needs. And you also get the best out of it if you involve a broad set of stakeholders. So when we say stakeholders in this perspective, it is, for example, the management team. It is the professional healthcare providers. So an interdisciplinary team within the healthcare providers. It could also be, for example, if you have an innovation team in your healthcare provider. And for example, ET consultants, that could also be very relevant to involve them in the preparation team. It could also be the enterprises that you work with, the external enterprises that you work with to supply digital solution, so that they get a better understanding of what are your needs, what are your training needs, and what are your digital needs. And then it's also important to be aware that the DISH tools, they are quite generic in the way that they have been developed. So it's very important for you to contextualize these tools to your concrete context and your concrete digital tools that you need to implement within your healthcare provider. And then it's also very important that you, before starting using the tools, that you have actually developed a kind of strategy within your healthcare provider, and maybe even that you in your country or your region, that you actually have a digital skills strategy on how you want to uptake and develop your healthcare sector to be able to take up digital solutions, and also what kind of needs strategy, how you actually need to work together with digital skills need providers, so healthcare education providers, the healthcare providers themselves, because they of course need to make a kind of match, because you can have a full return on investment of the kind of digital tools that you need within your healthcare sector. So this was what I wanted to explain about the dish tools. I hope that I managed to make some kind of understanding of how the tools are actually working. And now I'm ready to take any kind of questions if you have any.
Thank you, Ms. Henriette. We have also enabled the microphones and cameras of our participants. First, I think we have a question from Dr. Joseph. Dr. Joseph, would you like to ask your questions through the mic?
My question, I was asking if will you advise for someone to have pre and post assessment as the same tool? So for training, during training, you said pre-test for participants. And after training, will you advise to use the same set of questions you gave them during the pre-test as questions you gave for post-test? Or you, okay.
Yes, it could be a good way of doing evaluation. For example, related to a specific situation, a specific patient healthcare situation, you could ask a set of questions in the beginning. The healthcare providers have been, or the healthcare professionals have been through the training. Maybe you can ask the same set of questions again, and then you can see if they have got new ideas of how, for example, to carry through the specific situation together with colleagues and patients. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, sure. So, but I was just thinking, in situations where participants get to understand the question before training, and okay, I think that makes sense, because for evaluation, you want to stay on the same line of thought before the training and also after the training.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph and Ms. Henriette. I think we also have a question from Dr. Benji. So what is the greatest learning challenge or obstacle of Denmark, perhaps other Scandinavian countries as well, in the implementation of DISH?
What we have really learned is a bit this recommendation that I said, that if you really want to get the full potential out of the DISH tools, it's important to use all three tools together. And I think both from Denmark and Norway, we can say the same thing. It takes resources to prepare, but I think that a lot of the management staff, yeah, they actually, when they worked with these DISH tools, I think that they got a kind of aha experience, because they went out from this saying, oh yeah, oh, they got a lot of new knowledge, actually talking with the healthcare professionals in a structured way, as it's set up in the DISH tools. I think that actually management team got a lot of new knowledge out of using these tools that they wouldn't have got without using them. And maybe it took some time in the beginning to prepare and to listen to the different stakeholders that you invite into the preparation team. But afterwards, I think that they found out that this use of time in the beginning to prepare was actually well gained afterwards. when training and when you had to evaluate as well, because as you through this the use of the preparation tool actually create this common understanding of the urgency and the common understanding of what is needed, implementation becomes much easier afterwards, because you have been dealing with a lot of the hindrances in the beginning when you are using the preparation tool. So I think that that's one of the best learnings in the Scandinavian countries, and although also the recognition of skills also from the management team. It's important for the healthcare professionals to feel that management is actually recognizing the skills that they have been gaining through the training.
Yes, Dr. Alvin?
Henriette, thank you very much. I really like the topic. I think we made the right decision to invite you to our network. It's very, very useful. I work in 2 big hospitals, and I think I have a good preparation team.
Yes.
It's interdisciplinary. We talk about what's the problem, but I think we are not very strong. So after we prepare, we end up with what we call a standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
But then we stop there.
Yes.
After sending out bulletins and then coming out with very short videos about how to do it properly as the standard operating procedure, we stop and we don't do a good assessment. So that's what I learned. That's what I learned today. The second thing I learned today is the urgency. The urgency needs to be front of mind. You cannot assume that everyone understands the urgency. Maybe it's urgent for the nurses, but it's not urgent for the doctors or vice versa.
No.
So the urgency needs to be very clear to everyone, so that when you disseminate the standard operating procedure or the implementation tool, they all understand why they all need to change and use the implementation tool. I'm very weak right now with management assessment. That's what I learned tonight. You need to feedback to the people who implemented the change and who made the preparation that yes, it worked. After 2 days, everyone's okay. Or maybe you need to feedback that it's not working. And therefore we need to recalibrate and find out what's happening. So I think the 3 things, the 3 pillars that you mentioned, I think needs to be done all together. And
exactly. And just when you were saying now assessment and after 2 days, and then I also think that some of the things that we learned was also, it's also worth going back, for example, after a month or 2 to see, so are the healthcare professionals still using what they learned, or do we need to follow up a bit? And I think that what you said with your preparation team, it's great that you have a preparation team. And then I think that the second tool, so the actually planning and carrying through of the training can then help you to carry out the implementation in a good way within the healthcare wards. And we have seen that these on the job training, it doesn't need to take long time. If you have prepared it well in the beginning, it can just be like maybe 2-3 hours training.
The doctors are very difficult to invite to the
yes
training.
I know.
Usually the best way to train the doctors is to, while they're doing it,
Exactly.
there's somebody beside them. I have a follow-up and very difficult question, and I think you're the best persons to answer the question because you've done this before. You've implemented this. So we're 2 big hospitals, 500 beds, 500 beds. And the surgeons here think differently from the surgeons in the other hospital. You know what I mean? And so how would you, and I have a preparation team. It's not very big. It's multidisciplinary. But how do I preserve or maximize my preparation team so that they don't get tired? Do distribute my preparation team and go to the different departments. I have 20 different departments, and loop in the surgeon here, and then tomorrow loop in the obstetrician, and then tomorrow the pediatrician? Or should we just teach them the dish method and give them the capacity to, do the three things by themselves, which is more empowering? But it's also, if we are not experts ourselves, I have some doubts about teaching other people if the multidisciplinary preparatory team is not yet well versed with dish. So I'm thinking, and I'm answering my own question, is that we have to do it ourselves first, and then maybe once or twice, and then after that, go to the departments and start building up their capacity to do their own dish capabilities in the different departments, and then that will spark the capability for the three parts of dish at the periphery, rather than it all emanating from one central group of interdisciplinary nurses. What do you think about that approach?
Sorry, I think you're on
You're on
mute,
mute,
Miss
Henriette.
Henriette.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Good, okay. We have different experiences from DISH, actually, from the different countries that participated. But in Denmark, which is the country that has used the DISH tools most and have trained most people, we have used it in a quite flexible way. And that meant that the preparation team was not the same. It's depending on the specific digital solution that you are going to implement. So when you have a specific digital solution that you have invested in, you set up a specific preparation team to that digital solution. So it can be a doctor, it can be a nurse, it can be an IT consultant within your hospital. It could be the enterprise as well, with whom you have been working with to develop or buy the digital solution. And it can be a training expert within your hospital, or an external one that you are going to engage to carry out the training or something like that. The best way to use it is, you can say that the tools are process tools. They do not a way to do it just one time. It gives you a way to set up the team, to set up the training each time that you need to do it in a flexible way.
Yes. Thank you, Henry. Are there any other questions? I think Dr. Binji. Thank you, Ma'am Henriette. And I believe this is a very practical model, especially for a more heterogeneous society like the Philippines and along other Asian countries compared to a more homogeneous society in the West. It also focuses on the peopleware and the identification
Exactly.
of points of learning resistance.
Yes, exactly.
So
Very much.
we're at the top of the hour. Thank you very much, Henriette. What I will do
You're
right
welcome.
now, Henriette, go ahead. You want to say
Yes.
something?
No. I just wanted to say that I'm going to send you my my presentation, and I will also send you because we have tried to put all our experiences and the theoretical foundation and everything. We have put that into a common document. And I will send you that as well. Then you can distribute it among your members so that they can learn a bit more about the dish. When they want to.
And what I will do after this, Henriette, is form a preparation team in AeHIN, because our problem is interoperability. So we will talk amongst ourselves and find out how we can create an urgency around interoperability. Our target audience really is government, because government has the responsibility and the power to ensure that there's interoperability. So, and then I'll give you feedback. I will use the
Okay,
NIST
that sounds
framework.
good. I would like
I
to
will
know if
I will let you know what worked for us and what did not work, and then maybe we'll have another webinar. We'll present it, and you will now be the audience.
yeah, great.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So thank you very much,
Yeah.
everyone. Good session,
And
Ms.
thank you for
Henriette.
inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone. Good night. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.